Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 3 and today we are going to present about analysis thread in Windows 10. First, my name is Aditya Raffi Putrananda.
My name is Desrelia Sulistiawati.
My name is Muhammad Rian Cakraningrat.
And let's get started.
Background. Most persons use electronic devices like computers, laptops, smartphones, or tablets on a regular basis, and all of these machines are typically running an operating system. But only a few people know what this application can do and why it's pre-installed on most smartphones. Although laptops and desktop computers typically run on Windows, Mac OS or Linux, must handle device run iOS or Android. The operating system builds the specifications for all applications program running on the computer. Applications communicate to the operating system for all user interface and file storage operations, often referred to as executive or supervisor. The operating system performs the following roles. The thread is the fundamental unit to which the operating system coordinates the time of the CPU. Threads can execute and part of the process code, including sections that are currently being excited by another thread.
The definition of operating system. One of the software whose data are responsible for regulating and controlling the work of hardware and running software or application in a computer system is the operating system. In other words, the operating system is a system that controls basic operations and ensures that the computer system run and function properly. The operating system is referred to as an essential component because it allows an application to function. Unless the computer is booting, the operating system is the only thing that can make the computer and its system work.
The thread. A thread is a type of execution unit that consists of a program clock, a stack, and a set of registers. Threading is frequently referred to as a lightweight method. Threads are a common way to increase parallelism usage. The processor easily switches between threads, giving the impression that they are running in parallel. Multiple processes can be executed in parallel by increasing the number of threads because each thread has its own independent resource for process execution.
Types of threads. 1. User-level threads. This type of thread is implemented in the user-level library and is not created through system calls. Thread switching does not necessitate a call to the operating system or a kernel interrupt. The kernel is unaware of the user-level threads and treats them a single-threaded process. 2. Thread kernel level, or KLT. Kernel handles the threads and knows every thread. This is a form of multi-threading. The kernel manages a table for monitoring threads in each process. There is also a spread table to monitor and update process as changes are made. OS will make adjustments to the threads when making and handling them. Awareness of threads is shared with the kernel and the time for each loop is scheduled by execute. Kernel threads are used by applications that break through the process.
Advantage
Next.
of threads in operating system. The context switching time is reduced using thread. With traditional methods, it takes longer to switch the context between different processes, even though they belong to the same OS. This helps in managing the time of the task. While using threads, one task after the other is carried out without being instructed always. Hence, concurrency is achieved for the entire process using threads. Communication between threads and communication between process is made efficient with the help of threads. This helps to manage the process without being tracking the entire processing using a tracker. This reduces cost.
Disadvantage of thread operating system. All the variables, both local and global, are shared between threads. This creates a security issue as the global variables give access to any process in the system. Two, when the entire application is dependent on threads, if a single thread breaks, the entire process is broken and blocked. Thus, the application is broken and blocked. This application is crashed. This particularly happens when the application runs the process with a single thread. When many threads are used, the threads crash each other, making the communication difficult. Threads depend on the system and the process to run. It is not independent. Also, the execution of the process via threads is time consuming, but process cannot be run without threads.
Problem analysis, the definition of thread. A thread is the entity within a process that can be scheduled for execution. All threads of a process share its virtual address space and system resource. In addition, each thread maintains exception handlers and scheduling priority threads local storage, a unique thread identifier, and a set of structure the system will use to save the thread context until it is scheduled. The thread context include the thread set of machine register, the kernel stack, a thread environment block, and user stack in address space of the thread process.
Next. S3. S3.
The advantage and disadvantage of user threads. The advantage, a thread switching does not require kernel mode privilege. B, user level threads can run on any operating system. C, scheduling can be application specific in the user level threads. D, user level threads are fast to create and manage. And then disadvantages in a typical operating system, most system calls are blocking, and multi-thread applications cannot take advantage to multiprocessing.
Yeah. Yeah. Next.
The advantage and disadvantage of kernel threads. The advantage: if one thread in a process is blocked, the kernel can schedule another thread of the same process. Kernel can simultaneously schedule multiple threads from the same process. On multiple process, kernel routines themselves to multi-threaded. The disadvantage: kernel threads are generally slower to create and manage than the user threads. B. Transfer of control from one thread to another within same process require a mode switch to the kernel.
Conclusions. A thread is a process flow control. Threads are classified into two types, single thread and multi-thread. According to its utility, multi-thread is the most commonly used thread that die. Multi-thread process contains multi-type control flows that share the same address space, improve user response, process resource sharing, economy, and the ability to take advantage of multiprocessor architecture are all advantage of multi-thread programming. Threads visible to programmers but invisible to the kernel are referred to as user-level threads. In most cases, user-level threads are managed by a thread library in user space. Kernel operating systems support and manage kernel-level threads. User-level threads are generally faster to create and manage than kernel-level threads. And then suggestions. If you can consider the benefits and disadvantages when you upgrade to Windows 10 based on the points of advantage and disadvantage, there is nothing wrong with upgrading if you think there are many benefits. But if you think there are still many disadvantages, it is fine to delay the upgrade.
And that's all about our threads PowerPoint. Thank you for the attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.